Hello everyone, myself Dr. Smriti Mathur, working as an assistant professor at Babu Banasidas University, Lucknow. Today we'll start with our module 3, which is concerned with group, formation of group, what are the foundations of group. Okay, so we will start with group. What do you mean by group? Group is a collection of individuals who interact with each other such that one person's action have an impact on another person. Group is a fundamental part of any organization. Groups are formed by individuals through their natural phenomenon on the basis of personal and social relationships developed among them. A group is able to share experiences, provide feedback, pool ideas, generate insights, and provides arena for analysis of experiences. An important aspect of today's work system is that groups accomplish more work in less time than people who perform that similar work individually. Group members actually work together for the accomplishment of organizational goals or to achieve objectives of organization. When we talk about definition of group, according to Stephen P. Robbins, a group is defined as two or more individuals interacting and independent who have come together to achieve particular objectives. According to Nelson and Quick, group can be defined as two or more people having common interest, objectives, and continuing interaction. What do you mean by group dynamics? When we talk about group in any organization, you will realize that people within an organization, within every organization, interact with each other and they form groups. Due to this, we all know that groups are very important for accomplishment of tasks. So, a separate study has emerged which is called as group dynamics. Group dynamics is concerned with the functioning of groups, their structure, processes, and the way they affect individual members, groups, and organization. So, according to Newstorm, group dynamics is the social process by which people interact face to face in small groups. When we talk about group dynamics becomes an important part in any organization, or we can say it is an integral part of human behavior in modern organizations. Why? Because it provides insights to the working of groups and suggests ways of making better use of groups for accomplishing organizational objectives. When we talk about group dynamics is based on certain assumptions. Number one is groups are inevitable and present everywhere in the organization. Groups exercises influence on the behavior and performance of the individuals. Groups may bring good as well as bad consequences for the organization. We all know anything up to a particular level or particular limit is beneficial for organization. If you exceed something beyond that limit, then that has negative impact on organization. Similar is the case with group dynamics too. People working together as a group have good as well as bad consequences for the achievement of organizational goal. When we talk about group dynamics, managers must understand group dynamics to obtain desired results. Now the question arises, why does group exist? When we talk about the reason behind existence of group, you will see a group exists in an organization when its members are more than one. All the members are motivated to join that particular group. Perceive the group as a unified unit of interacting people. It contributes in various amount to the group processes, such as some people contribute more time and more energy to the group than others. Groups reach agreement and have disagreement through various forms of interaction. And when we talk about group, all the members of the group are working for achievement of common goal. And all the members of the group are interdependent. Activities by one member of a group affects activities of another member of the group. So we can say all the members of the group are interdependent. Now, why do people join groups? Modern managers actually need an understanding of groups to be able to tap the vast potential of energy and productive output of groups. So it is important for every organization to understand why people want to be a part of a particular group or why people join any group. When we talk about this reason, number one is safety and security. One of the major reasons or purpose behind the formation of group is the gratification of members' needs. We all know in order to survive, a group must give satisfaction to its members. If group provides protection to their members from outside pressure, then people want to be a part of that particular group. So we can say this is one of the strongest reasons for group formation. When people join group, what they want their insecurity to be reduced. They should feel stronger, have lesser doubts, and are more resistant to threats. Group serves as the most important function of helping individuals to cope up with the environment. Second important reason is companionship and belongingness. This can also be understood as the need for affiliation, interaction, and influence. People are social beings, and their belonging to a group satisfies their social and emotional need for love, friendship, affection, and affiliation needs. Most people have a strong desire for being with others who can understand, support, and help them whenever they are in need and give them moral and emotional support in times of difficulty. Third point is self-esteem, status, identity, and power. One of the appealing aspects of group is that they represent power and offer power to others also. Workers enjoy much greater power by joining groups than they do so while working as individuals. We all have heard, united we stand, divided we fall. And unity is the biggest strength. Joining a group gives status and recognition to its members, especially if it is a group that is viewed as an important and influential one. Another reason is economic benefits. Individuals believe that they can derive economic benefits from their jobs if they organize themselves in a group. By working and cooperating as a group, the employees may obtain higher economic benefits, such as individual working at different points on assembly line may be paid on a group incentive basis, whereas the production of group determines the wages of each member of that group. Next is generation of new ideas. Informal groups are actually a great idea, as they provide supporting environment to members in which they can engage themselves in creative and innovative thinking. Next is information. Members of group can communicate important information with each other. So it is a source of communication and information to all the members of the group. It helps to reduce psychological barriers in communication, and mutual interaction helps in establishing satisfying perceptions of the workplace. And last point is goal accomplishment. One of the reasons why a person joins a group is his feeling that the group can help him accomplish goals. Organizational task demands cooperative effort of member of people. Many times there are need of different type of knowledge, skills and talents to complete certain jobs, and that is when group work shows good results. Now, what are the various functions of groups? It has been found that groups fulfill both organizational and individual functions in group setting. Some of these are, when we talk about organizational function, groups helps in accomplishment of tasks or achievement of objectives. Interdependent tasks that are beyond the capabilities of individuals can be accomplished by working as a group. Groups are helpful in generation of new and creative ideas, coordination among interdepartmental efforts. It provides a problem-solving mechanism for complex problems requiring varied information and assessments. It is helpful in implementing complex decisions as well as to socialize and train newcomers. When we talk about individual functions of group, it helps in satisfying the individual needs of affiliation. It helps in development and confirming the individual self-esteem and sense of identity. It gives individuals an opportunity to test and share their perception of social reality. It helps in reducing the individual's anxiety and feeling of insecurity and powerlessness. Provides a problem-solving mechanism for personal and interpersonal problems. And lastly, it acts as anchors for enhancing social self-esteem. When we talk about types of groups. When we talk about types of groups, it can be divided on number of bases. Number one is on the basis of size. On the basis of size, group can be divided into small group and large group. So depending on size, the number of individual members in a group. When we talk about a small group, a few individual members constitute a small group, and these group members usually have face-to-face interactions, communications, and interdependence with each other. Small groups remain more cohesive and compact in nature because their members are well knit and closely related to each other. Second is large group. Large group is usually collection of few small groups. The members of large group have more types of and large number of transactions. On the basis of purpose, they are divided into primary groups and secondary groups. Primary group is a small group having close association among members. There is a strong shared sense of identity, values, interest, and goals. Group loyalty is also very strong in primary goal. This closeness directly affects the behavior of individuals in a group. Some examples of primary group includes your family members, work groups, or a friendship group. Secondary group are mostly formed on the basis of formal, rational, and contractual relationship among members. In this group, loyalty may be weak, but relationships are predetermined and members work within the framework of these prescribed boundaries. On the basis of structure, they are divided into formal group and informal group. A formal group is defined as a group with designed or designated work assignments and established tasks. It is made up of managers, subordinates, or both, with a close association among group members that influence the behavior of individuals in the group. When we talk about informal group is that group which is made up of two or more individuals who are associated with one another in ways not prescribed in formal organization. It represents a natural grouping of people in the work environment. When we talk about another kind, that is on the basis of composition, it is divided into homogeneous group and heterogeneous group. When we talk about homogeneous group, these groups are formed on the basis of human traits of aligning with those members who have similar nature. Some groups who have members belonging to the same professions such as doctors, engineers, artists have similarity of profession which make them homogeneous. So they are also called as professional groups. When we talk about heterogeneous groups are those groups which are formed with members from different professions but working for similar cause. For example, Save the Tiger. Membership of these groups exists till each member perceives that they have common goal until they are on friendly terms with each other. On the basis of state of change, It can be divided into open group and closed group. Open groups are those groups which are in constant state of change, and closed groups are those groups which remain stable over a period of time. And last classification is on the basis of pressure tactics adopted by members, and this can be classified into 4 kind of groups. Number 1 is apathetic group. Apathetic group members hardly ever use pressure tactics and are generally indifferent to the formal organization. They consist of persons with few grievances and who lack unity. Next is your erratic groups. Erratic groups, the behavior of this group is very difficult to predict and they lack consistency. These members are easily inflamed and also easily pacified. Strategic group. The members of this group are able to prepare a strategy for putting pressure on other groups and the management. These people are highly united and maintain consistency. Last is your conservative group. Under this group members are found to be very strong and very stable. They are cooperative and they adopt positive attitude towards management only when highly specific goals are sought by group members. Now, we will discuss about formal group and informal group in detail. When we talk about formal groups are also called as work groups, teams, committees, corporate board or task force. It is an important part of management structure and it is created deliberately by management to perform the assigned task. The pattern of communication is defined and the behavior of group member is regulated by laid down rules. There may be permanent formal groups or temporary formal groups. When we talk about informal group is formed by people themselves. They are made of 2 or more individuals who are associated with one another and there is natural grouping of people. It arises spontaneously because of social interaction among the people and are based on common interest. They function without any set rules and members trust and respect each other. They are more flexible than formal groups and they concentrate more on personal contact between the members. Now, when we talk about formal group and informal group, we should be aware about the difference between these 2 kinds of groups. When we talk about formation, formal groups are formed deliberately, but informal groups are formed voluntarily. The structure of formal group is defined, but when we talk about informal structure, there is no defined structure in case of informal group. On the basis of relationship, in formal group, relationship is professional. It is based on rationality and contract. But when we talk about informal group, relationship is personal and it has social and emotional elements within informal group. Size of formal group is large, but when we talk about Size of informal group, it is comparatively small. Nature of formal group depends on group and its group member. But when we talk about informal group, the nature and life of informal group depends on members of that group. Leadership in formal group, your members are official leaders. There is official leader, but in informal group there is no official leader. Okay. Apart from this, there are other important point of differences too, such as communication. When we talk about formal group, there is proper formal channel of communication. Everything is well defined and everything is communicated through a formal line. But when we talk about informal group, there is no predetermined channel to communicate anything. So the chances of grapevine increases in case of informal group. When we talk about purpose of formal group, the main purpose is achievement of predetermined common goals. It is task oriented and it aims at earning more profit. But when we talk about informal group, main purpose is to satisfy social and personal needs of its members. It is relationship oriented and it is aimed for satisfaction of their members. Also, influence of formal group is based on position. It is based on the authority. That is, it flows from top to bottom. It flows from top to bottom. That is, all the decisions are taken by top authorities and that is communicated to lower level. Okay, so here what happens, it flows from top to bottom. But when we talk about informal, influence of any member of informal group is based on their personality, based on their power, and the flow is from bottom to up. There is flow from bottom to up. So we have to understand the exact meaning as well as exact difference between these two important kind of groups within an organization. Thank you so much. Now sometimes it is considered that formal group is important for organization but informal group is not important for organization. But this is not true. Informal group is also an essential part of organization. When we talk about importance of informal group to the organization, then we can say that a corporate group can be entrusted with the responsibility which lightens the manager's burden and also helps in filling in gaps in management's abilities. So it actually, what is the importance, that informal group is actually a support system for formal organizational structure. Also, a group helps to keep a check and a balance on the manager's excessive use of authority. A manager is not allowed to cross his limits due to group workings. This informal group acts as a medium of information for the management, and any information which the management is reluctant to express in writing can be conveyed to the members through the informal communication channel. This helps in avoiding resistance to change and it helps in implementation of decisions. And lastly, informal group provides a reservoir to managements for future managers and are an option of recruiting future managers from among informal leaders. So we can say that informal group is also an important part of an organization, but we have to make sure up to what level these informal groups are useful for your organization. So we have to set that limit and we have to make sure that these informal groups should have positive impact on organizational activities and achievement of goal. And once their impact is negative on organizational activities, then necessary actions should be taken by the managers. Thank you so much.